Hey everyone. I know we're all kind of waiting to see what happens with those CPI numbers dropping tomorrow. Feels like the whole crypto world is holding its breath.
Definitely a big day for the markets.
Yeah, for sure. But even with all that anticipation, there's this other story kind of making waves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Tether.
Mm.
The biggest stablecoin out there
Right.
is making a move onto Bitcoin's Lightning Network.
Interesting.
So we're going to take a deep dive into this today.
Sounds good.
Figure out what this integration actually means, why everyone's making such a big deal about it, and if this is like a real game changer or just, hype.
Yeah, got to cut through the noise.
Exactly. And what's so interesting is this news is coming straight out of the Plan B forum in El Salvador.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The country that's like all in on Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's definitely a statement. Choosing El Salvador for this announcement
Right.
signals they're serious about pushing Bitcoin beyond just, investment and into daily transactions.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get ahead of ourselves,
Sure.
can we break down some of the jargon for our listener?
Always a good idea.
What exactly is the Lightning Network?
Okay, so
And why is everyone freaking out about it?
think of it this way.
Okay.
The main Bitcoin blockchain is like a superhighway
Okay.
for transactions.
Gotcha.
It's secure, reliable, but it gets jammed when it's rush hour.
Okay.
So you have slower transaction times, higher fees, all that.
Makes sense.
Now the Lightning Network, it's like building a network of express lanes
Oh, okay.
alongside that highway.
So it's like a separate thing.
Yeah. It allows for faster, smaller transactions
Interesting.
to happen off of that main blockchain.
Huh.
So it makes things much smoother, cheaper.
So it's all about making Bitcoin more practical
Exactly.
for like everyday smaller purchases.
Yep.
Grabbing a coffee, sending money to a friend.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
That's where Tether comes in.
Okay.
They're the largest stablecoin by far.
Right.
Meaning their value is pegged to a more stable asset.
Like the US dollar.
Exactly like the US dollar.
Okay.
Their goal is to make Bitcoin more usable.
For like what kinds of things?
Micropayments, remittances, even global transactions.
Wow.
All while still relying on the security of the Bitcoin network.
That's ambitious.
It is.
This quote from Tether CTO Paolo Ardoino really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "Driving further the development of Bitcoin-based financial products is crucial for the advancement of the ecosystem." It sounds like they're not just making a tech upgrade.
Right.
They're trying to make a statement about where they think Bitcoin is headed.
It's a bold move,
It is?
but it's important to remember.
Yeah.
The Lightning Network isn't new.
It's been around.
It's been around for a bit.
Okay.
Hasn't really seen mainstream adoption.
And there are definitely some skeptics out there.
For sure.
Even Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey have explored, using the Lightning Network.
I remember that.
But nothing concrete really happened.
Yeah, it kind of fizzled out.
Why should anyone think Tether will succeed where others haven't?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
So the Lightning Network, it's faced some challenges.
Like what?
Well, like user experience, for one.
Okay.
Setting up those Lightning channels can be tricky
Right.
for the average person.
Yeah.
There are concerns about making sure there's enough Bitcoin flowing through those channels
Yeah.
to handle all the transactions.
Makes sense.
But Tether, they're in a unique position.
Okay.
They have the resources and a massive user base.
Right.
Gives them a real shot at tackling these issues.
So they're essentially betting
Yeah.
they can overcome these challenges and make the Lightning Network work for their huge user base.
That's the gamble.
Okay, but what if they pull it off?
Hmm.
What kind of impact could this have on the crypto world?
Well,
Could other stablecoins like USDC
yeah,
or even XRP
but
be forced to follow suit?
it's a real possibility.
Really?
If Tether proves this integration is beneficial and, more importantly, profitable,
Yeah.
it could push other stablecoin providers to jump on board.
Makes sense.
No one wants to be left behind, especially in crypto.
So for our listener, why should they care about this?
Good question.
What's the bigger picture here?
This move by Tether,
Yeah.
it's part of a bigger shift in how we view Bitcoin.
Okay.
It's not just an investment anymore.
Right.
It's evolving into a real-world payment system.
So we're not just talking about buying and selling Bitcoin.
No.
We're talking about actually using it to buy groceries, pay bills,
Exactly.
sending money across the world.
All the things we do with regular money.
All the things we do with regular money.
Exactly.
Wow.
And Tether's bet on the Lightning Network,
Yeah.
could be a massive step toward achieving that.
This is all really fascinating.
It is.
But it's still so early.
Yeah.
We don't know if this integration will be the game changer
Right.
that some people are predicting,
Mm-hmm.
or just another twist in the whole crypto saga.
Time will tell.
Right. But before we move on to other news in the crypto world,
Sure.
let's talk about a report
Okay.
that kind of sheds light on how Bitcoin is being used right now.
All right. While we're waiting to see how this whole Tether integration plays out,
Yeah.
it's a good time to look at some of the conversations happening around Bitcoin right now.
Okay.
There's this 2025 crypto crime report
Okay.
by TRM Labs.
Right.
That brings up some interesting points.
Oh, is this the one that highlighted all
Yeah.
that illicit activity connected to the Tron blockchain?
Yeah, that's the one.
Last year, I think it was?
Yeah, last year.
What were the key findings there?
Well, they found a significant portion
Okay.
of illicit crypto activity.
Okay.
We're talking billions of dollars here.
Wow.
Was linked to the Tron blockchain.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, this isn't to say that all activity on Tron is bad,
Right.
but
But it does raise some questions.
it raises questions about regulation
Uh-huh.
and how we track these flows of money.
Right. And that's where things get really interesting. The
Yeah.
report
Yeah.
makes a distinction between illicit and illegal transactions.
Yeah, it's a crucial distinction.
For our listener to understand, for sure.
Absolutely.
So when we say illegal transactions,
Yeah.
we're talking like, clear-cut crimes.
Yeah, money laundering,
Money laundering.
terrorist financing,
Yeah.
things of that nature.
That kind of thing.
Now, illicit is a bit more nuanced.
Okay.
These might not be illegal everywhere,
Okay.
but they raise red flags
Gotcha.
because of a lack of transparency,
Okay. Yeah.
potential compliance issues, links to suspicious activities.
So it's not always black and white.
Exactly.
Depends on the specific regulations of different countries and even the political climate.
Precisely. And that's what makes regulating these decentralized networks,
Yeah.
like Bitcoin, so tricky.
Okay.
You have the argument for increased oversight
Sure.
to prevent financial crimes.
Makes sense.
But there's also the concern
Yeah.
that too much regulation could stifle innovation,
Right.
drive activity
Yeah.
towards less transparent platforms.
It sounds like finding that sweet spot
Yeah,
between preventing abuse and encouraging innovation
it's a tough one.
is going to be a major challenge,
There's a balancing act.
especially, with a new administration
Oh, yeah.
in the U.S.
Yeah.
and their focus on shaping the regulatory landscape.
This focus on regulation isn't limited to the U.S., though.
Oh, okay.
We're seeing interesting developments in other countries,
Like where?
like Brazil.
Right.
Their B3 stock exchange,
Right.
which already trades Bitcoin futures,
Yeah.
is planning to launch Solana and Ethereum futures contracts this year. So that's a pretty clear sign that institutional interest
Yeah.
in crypto
Yeah.
is growing worldwide.
Yeah. Definitely seems like it.
And they're not stopping there.
Oh, there's more.
They're considering introducing Bitcoin options contracts
Wow.
to attract even more institutional investors.
Okay, so they're really leaning into it.
Exactly. The demand for crypto derivatives is on the rise.
Makes sense.
And these traditional financial institutions,
Mm-hmm.
they're taking notice.
Okay. So let's shift gears for a moment.
Sure.
Talk about another aspect of Bitcoin, mining,
Yeah.
the whole, energy-intensive process
Right.
that keeps the Bitcoin network secure.
Exactly.
And we know that the mining difficulty recently increased.
It did.
So it's become even harder,
Yeah.
more expensive for miners to operate.
Uh-huh.
What does this mean for the future of Bitcoin mining?
Tough question.
Yeah.
As mining gets harder, smaller miners
Yeah.
might find it difficult to compete with larger, more established operations.
Right.
So this raises concerns about potential centralization within the Bitcoin mining industry.
So the decentralization that Bitcoin is known for
Yeah.
could be at risk.
It's a valid concern.
Okay.
However, remember that the Bitcoin protocol is designed to adapt.
Okay.
So if mining becomes too difficult,
Yeah.
the difficulty will eventually decrease,
Interesting.
making it easier for smaller miners to get back in the game.
So it's a system that's constantly adapting
It has to be.
to new conditions, challenges.
Absolutely.
Speaking of adaptation,
Okay.
we got to talk about that partnership
Okay,
between G42, the AI company,
Right.
and AMD. They're teaming up to invest in AI innovation in France.
Very interesting.
What's fascinating is that G42 is using AMD's technology in Grenoble.
Okay.
That city is going to be home to one of France's most powerful supercomputers.
So this partnership, it's a perfect example of how crypto and blockchain technology are merging with other cutting-edge fields, like artificial intelligence.
And the potential applications are huge.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We're only just scratching the surface.
It really makes you wonder what the future holds for all of this.
Yeah.
Especially when we see those lines blurring between different technologies.
No doubt.
Right.
The future of finance and technology are becoming increasingly intertwined.
Yeah.
And this Tether and Lightning Network story, it's just one example of that convergence in action.
Okay. Before we wrap things up, I think it would be helpful for our listener to hear a little more about stable coins.
Okay.
And their role in all of this.
Absolutely. So stable coins, they're digital assets
Okay.
designed to maintain a stable value,
Okay.
usually pegged to a fiat currency.
Like the US dollar?
Exactly like the US dollar.
Okay.
They offer a way to bridge the gap between the volatility of cryptocurrencies and the stability of traditional finance.
So for someone who's maybe new to crypto, why would they use a stablecoin instead of just sticking with traditional currency?
That's a great question.
It is,
Stablecoins offer a number of advantages.
Okay, like what?
Well, they can be transferred quickly and cheaply, even across borders.
Right.
They provide a way to participate in the crypto ecosystem without being exposed to, you know, those wild price swings
for sure.
of assets like Bitcoin.
Gotcha.
And they're increasingly being integrated into various platforms and services, making them more accessible and user-friendly.
So someone could potentially receive their salary in a stable coin, use it to pay for goods and services, even send remittances to family members in other countries, all without having to convert back to traditional currency.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Stablecoins aim to provide a seamless and efficient way to move money in the digital age.
And with Tether's move onto the Lightning Network.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're aiming to make those transactions even faster and cheaper.
Wow.
Potentially opening up a whole new world of possibilities for Bitcoin.
This is all really exciting stuff.
It is.
But it's important to remember there are risks and challenges associated with stablecoins as well.
Definitely.
You know, their stability relies on the issuer's ability to maintain adequate reserves. And there have been concerns about transparency and regulation in the past.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's crucial to do your research, understand the risks before investing in or using any stablecoin.
Good advice.
The crypto landscape is constantly evolving.
It really is.
It's important to stay informed and make educated decisions.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
In this deep dive.
A lot to unpack.
From Tether's integration with the Lightning Network to the broader implications for Bitcoin, stablecoins, the future of finance. Before we jump into our final takeaways, let's touch on one more important aspect of this evolving landscape. The concept of decentralized finance, DeFi. Essentially a movement that aims to recreate traditional financial services like lending, borrowing, trading on decentralized blockchain networks.
Exactly.
So it's about giving individuals more control over their finances, reducing reliance on those traditional intermediaries.
Like banks.
Like banks.
Exactly.
So instead of going through a bank to get a loan, you could potentially borrow directly from others on a DeFi platform using crypto as collateral.
Exactly, and that's just one example.
Okay.
DeFi platforms offer a wide range of services.
Like what?
Decentralized exchanges, stablecoin lending protocols.
Wow.
Even prediction markets.
Okay.
It's really quite diverse.
DeFi sounds like it has the potential to disrupt the traditional financial system in a major way.
For sure.
But what are some of the challenges, risks involved?
One of the biggest challenges is user experience.
Okay.
DeFi platforms can be complex. Difficult to navigate for those who aren't familiar with blockchain technology.
For sure.
There are also security risks.
Okay.
DeFi platforms can be vulnerable to hacks and exploits.
Right. And what about regulation?
Yeah.
Is DeFi even regulated?
It's a bit of a gray area.
Okay.
Because DeFi operates on decentralized networks.
Yeah.
It's difficult for regulators to exert traditional oversight. This raises concerns about the potential for illicit activities.
Yeah. Okay.
And the need for new regulatory frameworks.
Yeah.
That can address the unique challenges posed by DeFi.
So it sounds like DeFi is a rapidly evolving space with a lot of potential, but also some inherent risks.
Definitely.
It's something that our listeners should keep an eye on as the crypto landscape continues to develop.
Absolutely. DeFi is a fascinating and potentially revolutionary movement.
Okay.
But it's important to approach it with caution.
Yeah.
Do your research before getting involved.
Okay. So let's take a moment to synthesize everything we discussed today and distill some key takeaways for our listener.
Sounds good. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with the big news.
Okay.
Tether's integration with the Lightning Network. Well, let's start with the big news.
Okay.
Tether's integration with the Lightning Network.
Right.
This is a major move.
It is.
Could make Bitcoin, more practical for everyday use, for sure.
If it works, it could be like a real game changer.
Yeah, I think that's what they're hoping for.
Driving wider adoption of Bitcoin as a payment method.
Like actually using it to buy things.
Exactly.
Not just as an investment.
And it really highlights how Bitcoin is evolving,
Definitely.
It's not just this like speculative asset anymore.
No.
It's increasingly being seen as a potential alternative to traditional financial systems.
It's a real possibility.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not all smooth sailing, right?
Oh, of course not.
There are still challenges to overcome.
Yeah, like what?
The Lightning Network, for one, needs to become more user-friendly.
Right. Got to make it easier for people to use.
Exactly. And then there are those questions about liquidity and scalability.
Those are big ones.
They are. And we can't forget about regulation.
Oh, yeah. That's the elephant in the room.
Right. As crypto becomes more mainstream.
Governments are going to want to get involved. For sure. And that TRM Labs report, we talked about earlier, highlights like
some of the issues.
The complexities.
Yeah, exactly.
Of tracking illicit activity in the crypto space.
It's a tricky landscape.
It is. So finding that balance between preventing abuse and fostering innovation.
It's going to be key.
Absolutely. And all this is happening, with those CPI numbers coming out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Right.
Big day.
The market is definitely on edge.
For sure.
And those numbers, I feel like they could have a ripple effect.
Definitely. They're going to give us some insights into the state of the global economy.
Okay.
Which will impact investor sentiment.
Right.
Could influence the adoption of technologies like the Lightning Network.
So for our listener, what does all this mean?
I think it means we're living in a really fascinating time.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. The world of finance is changing so rapidly.
It is.
And crypto is, at the forefront of that change.
We're seeing new technologies emerge. Traditional institutions getting involved. Governments trying to figure out
how to regulate all this. Exactly. Staying informed, understanding these trends.
Yeah.
It's more important than ever.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
But I think that's what makes this space so exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
There's always something new happening.
Yeah, never a dull moment.
Always something to learn.
You got that right.
Right.
And who knows, maybe you, the listener, will come up with the next big breakthrough in crypto.
That's a great thought to end on.
It is, isn't it?
So, to wrap things up.
Okay.
Tether's bet on the Lightning Network.
Yeah.
Bold move.
It is.
Could reshape the way we use Bitcoin.
I think so.
Whether it succeeds or not, I guess, remains to be seen.
Only time will tell.
But one thing's certain.
What's that?
The crypto world is, evolving faster than ever.
It's a wild ride.
It really is, and it's a journey worth paying attention to.
Definitely keep those eyes peeled.
Right.
Now those minds engaged.
The future of finance just might be unfolding right before our eyes.
Who knows what's next?